So in today's episode, guys, we are going to be upgrading the fuel system on this 1.2 Vauxhall Nova. Now, currently, it's the standard single-point injection system, but we have fitted a 2-litre 16-valve engine with throttle bodies. So we need to make it from low-pressure single-point injection to high-pressure multi-point injection. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it now. And to do that, I need to fit lots and lots of parts. So, for example, fueling. We need to put fuel rail on the injectors. Now, the injectors have been tested by Ian Pepper. One of them wasn't actually working very well. The flow was really bad, so he's rebuilt them. Now they're spot on. I've got a high pressure fuel pump to fit, and I've also got just various bits and bobs, things like the fuel pressure regulator, hoses, various things. So we're just going to crack on. So I think we're going to start by putting this back plate on, putting the trumpets on, putting the fuel rail on, injectors, all that stuff. I need to connect up the original fuel lines. I can't remember which one's which, to be fair. I can work that out though pretty quick and just go from there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of silicone grease on the O-rings of these injectors, just so they slide in nicely. And they just pop in like this. Now these are original late C20XE injectors. I've been told by QED these will be good enough. However, if they're not, we do have other options. We've got some C20 LET injectors and a few other bits and bobs. But these, the blue ones, actually flow slightly more than the cream ones. So hopefully they'll be good enough. Right, there's a fuel rail which I've already cut down. Slides on like so. Got the spacers what go between it. That's the spacer. Nice little machined aluminium spacer. Then you've got the clips that just hold these in place. They slot on like so. Beautiful. So fuel lines, these are the original ones. If I'm honest, I've seen better days. So they won't replace it. Now, being an injection model, these are suitable. They're just a bit old and crap. So I'll replace them with some better new fuel lines. First off, I just need to work out which one's which. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bridge the fuel pump relay. And that should make petrol come out of one, and then I can know which one's the feed, which one's the return. That's the feed. So there's the old line. Not great, very hard. Let's make a new one. So I'm using new rubber high pressure fuel lines. This is reinforced hose and is OE quality. Being an injection model standard, the fuel lines are all suitable on the car. I'm just replacing this end as it's cracked and perished. The lines that run under the car are plastic and tried and tested. My personal car has 8mm copper lines, these also work well. I use proper 12mm fuel hose clips on these. From experience, Jubilee clips aren't quite as good at clamping smaller hoses. And there we go, that's the main fuel feed all connected up. Now we'll cable tie it up out of the way once we're done. Now I need to do the return. Now the return's more complicated because we need to put an inline fuel regulator in it. We can't just connect it up like that, it'd be nice if we could. So here's the regulator. It's an Italian-made Malpassi, something like that. No idea, can't speak Italian. But that should, in theory, just go like that. So end of the rail goes to this one, and then that's out. So we're going to have it mounted somewhere like this, I think. I need to make a little bracket for it. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to connect it up, and we'll go from there. So the Gen V fuel rail isn't handed. However, I've chosen to use the near side as the feed and offside as the return. This is the way Vauxhall did it, so it's good enough for me. The return line leaves the rail and goes into the side of the fuel pressure regulator. It then comes out the bottom and goes back to the tank. So that is the fuel side sorted this end. Now I need to do the fuel pump. Now I believe the vacuum line we don't actually connect because there's no vacuum takeoffs. However, I'm not sure. I might have to find that out nearer the time. So on single point injection Novas, the fuel pump screws into the top of the fuel tank. There is a handy inspection panel under the rear seats. Pull out the rear seats to gain better access, remove the cover, remove the pump plug, and then remove the feed line. This is held on with one clip. Then there's a ring of 8mm headed bolts to remove, and the pump assembly just lifts out. So factory fuel pump, single point injection, I think these run to like 15, 20 PSI. Aftermarket fuel pump, now this is a performance one essentially. They're quite cheap, to be fair, they're only about 40 quid I think. This is for a BMW, but they're all pretty much the same in-tank fuel pumps. I think it's slightly longer, but it's basically the same. I've got one of these on my Black Nova and it works really well. This goes up to about 50 PSI, so much better. So what we need to do essentially is swap all the guts from that into that. Alright, so that's the filter. It's definitely done its job, it's quite grubby. This bit here is not actually a hose, it just supports it. So knock it off. That's the old one out. So the new one has the same plug, which is handy. I am going to replace the feed pipe because that's not reinforced. It's very soft and I don't trust it. So yeah, rather than have issues down the line, we're just going to replace that. I used a piece of the same 8mm ID fuel hose I used at the front to replace the feed pipe. The pump slots in and it clips into place. So there we go, all built up, new pump, new filter. Now the pump is slightly narrower than the old one, so I'm going to put a cable tie around here, just hold it all together. New hose, some new clips, original plug fitted like I said. Yeah, good to go with that. So let's get it back in the tank. I actually had to swap the pickup filter for a smaller one supplied in the kit. The first one interfered with the tank baffles. Refitting the pump assembly is just the reverse of removing it. Fit the ring of bolts, tighten them evenly, fit the fuel lines, fuel pump plug. Nice and easy stuff really. The fuel system is now suitable for most multi-point injection Vauxhall or other engines running 2.5 to 4 bar fuel pressure systems. I finish it off by refitting the cover and putting the car hood back down. So that's the fuel system now sorted. In the next episode, we're going to hopefully get this vehicle running. Still needs wiring up. Obviously, the fuel pressure regulator will need setting up on the dyno, but for now, it should run once it's wired up. So stay tuned for more. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.